front yards, backyards to go through, and then just
Lumiere?
have
Oh,
the most obvious one I might want to use not work.
Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask.
I said not so loud.
That's some hangover, unless I'm willing to. This should sober him up. No.
No.
Nothing like.
Mm-hmm. No, no, no. Oh, you stupid fucking bitch, dude. God, this fucking system is fucking trash.
More booze.
God damn it, dude.
Christ. I'm gonna puke.
If it's
Drink up.
forcing you
It'll make you feel better.
to only give one, why does it have the fucking
Better
option to
already.
give four?
Wait.
If it's like, no, you can't give four.
Who?
Okay, then only allow
What are
taking
you
one,
doing
dude.
here?
The
Who
fuck
are
is
you?
this?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to
And then on
you.
top of it,
Me?
fucking defaults
What for?
to,
Are you Luna
to the
from
max
Rat
number.
House? The scribe.
I used to.
Unbelievable, man.
Now I'm just Lumiere the madman.
They say that,
Because I was just on some wild goose. And what came of it?
but I need your.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You'll just end up hurting your
Come now, Luna.
poor girls. We let it be in the end. We let no way.
I'm not doing it for myself. I'm a.
A friend, eh? I searched high and low. What makes you think you can...
Because I'm not stupid, and I notice things. I've successfully solved a murder before.
Is that so? A murder investigation under your belt. And educated and observant, too.
Well, I said I'm not stupid. Not that I'm educated. I can read and write, too. Sometimes even count.
If only more people knew the difference. All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid, too. As were most of the other victims.
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls. Stanya and Zdena.
Why are you counting the miss?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or back...
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor? And
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left.
but why does he even kill an?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles.
Why were you looking into it?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long... Gutenberg is a big city with a lot of people. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another, settling their quarrels.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them, and they're trouble. So when one of them came to the bailiffs one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty...
Behind the bailiff's back.
Not really. Andreas supported my activity.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you have any suspects?
You can always find some. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
No, I'm not doing all that.
Well, the way I hear it, wanted to ask you, did the dead girl...
Aside from...
Do you think somebody...
Certainly.
But why does he...
I don't know.
Oh my god, do I have to?
What can you...
She wasn't... She was a mess. She was off. They found her...
Did you have any...
At first, but then I changed my...
Why?
Well, for one, besides that, then his mother told me... That really surprised... Maybe he...
What about...
She was an...
You said her body was...
You have no idea how much... Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful.
Did you suspect him?
You could suspect every second man there. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya.
And what about that Zdena?
Exactly. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim.
But if her body was never found...
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Young, beautiful. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always... When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory.
And what about the...
It all started with them. She'd only been in town for a short... But the other one, she said she was really cheerful and outgoing. She knew she was pretty, and...
You mean she wanted someone...
That's what it sounded like.
Interesting.
In the graveyard, lad. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. There's nobody else left who could...
Can you sum it all?
We have 6 victims, unfortunately. Of the remain... The next one, they both hung... And the last
Okay.
one...
Good.
When you learn you've aroused...
I fucking knew it. It was gonna be a bunch of bullshit.
Good day to you. What?
Father,
I don't have time for theology.
that's not why I'm here. My name's Henry. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her. Why is it you ask?
Somebody is murdering maids here.
Yes, yes, but those poor souls are already at God's side.
I don't want revenge. I want to stop more killing. That's a better reason, isn't it?
True enough. What do you...
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But what can you tell me about?
About Yarka?
Where did you know Yarka?
I knew her since...
And?
I was her uncle. When my...
Who do you think killed...
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to...
Why do you think it was...
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls.
And does anyone else come to...
No.
You raised her?
Yes.
How...
When she was small, I could.
No offense, but...
I was a bit, maybe...
Why do you think you...
Yarko was her only chance of a good man. The more I led her in that...
You're well off.
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own.
But how come?
The church's property always remains the church's.
How did she...
She wouldn't listen.
Disgrace?
She was pregnant! Even if she had lived, what then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
Why don't you respect...
That's my business. You need... I won't tell you.
Come now. I'm not just asking out of curiosity. Isn't it written in scripture? Speak up.
A layman quotes the Bible to me. Fine. Lumir accused me of her murder.
What?
Yes.
And...
It turned out he was deranged. He's finished in...
I've heard enough, Father.
Son, I'll give you.
Good to see you.
Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdenna?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who had...
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is a kick in the teeth.
Son, you want to be firm with.
Why so rash? That kind of attitude will do you no... Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdenna, and I'll make sure you're no worse for wear.
There you go.
You're the lord what that whore robbed. Don't worry about it. She weren't nothing but a lying bitch.
So, if I understand correctly, we can make a deal?
For the right price, I'll tell you all I know.
Or I won't fucking beat your ass.
Is this the right price?
You fucking bet it is. Ask away.
Where can I find...
Aye. That's what I like to fucking know too. Last time I saw...
Yeah.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to Ravstein Mill. It's quite a long ways away. She had some unfinished business with some bloke called Pint. Ain't nobody seen her since then.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
What do you want to hear? I try to keep her out of trouble.
So you were taking care of her?
Well, just in front of the others. Other than that, she did what she wanted. Always made up.
So you weren't too fond of her?
Not really, no. But she did...
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off somewhere, seeing some...
Someone came to see her?
Well, aye. Some stuffed frog came here once. All old. He said he had some job for her. That she should leave behind her sinful life and all that shit. But he left empty-handed. She told him to go to hell.
Do you know who that priest was?
Oh,
Some
yeah.
fucking Prokop or Pravoslav or some such shit.
Ooh.
But that reminds me. I saw her a couple of times with another bastard. That fucking bard, William.
What do you know about this priest?
Not much. Seems they knew each other from before. And he had some job for her somewhere. Serving as a maid or something. But she weren't stupid. She told him to fuck right off.
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like the kind of fella that had knocked some sense into a woman. I think he just told her if she changed her mind to come and see him. Or some shit like that.
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him? And that's why nobody's seen her?
No, no. She took off. I'm sure about that.
And could she have run away with this bard, William?
With that lily-livered fop, well, he ain't been seen in town for some time, but I think someone was out to get him. He still don't come here no more. He plucks that loot of his in the miners' tavern. The wee shit.
I've heard enough.
Okay.
can I get for you?
Wait. Oh, I thought it showed some dice over there.
What are you here for?
Did it stun you?
Stun ya. It depends on...
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. The main thing is whether it's a good guest or a bad guest asking. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know...
By the fact he spends a lot of coin?
Aye. I like talking to them. So, what'll it be?
What if I simply paid you, and you tell me what I want to know if Stanya worked here.
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone had anything to do with it.
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in here was totally ransacked. The door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone. All I found were bloody footprints.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer.
What?
If you want to ask, you have to drink. Didn't you get that?
You're quite the extortionist.
I prefer to be called an So, what'll it be?
I'm getting tired of this. I'll give you the money up front, and that's all you'll get. Whether I'm a good guest or bad. Got it? Now you're gonna spill it. Got it?
All right, all right.
Did anybody see what actually happened when Stanya disappeared?
No, it was at night. Nobody's... The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street, not...
What was Stanya like?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nib it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but she also had another suitor.
Someone from the city?
No, a charcoal burner. I heard he was from somewhere in the, Verchlitz Valley. I think his name was Barton?
Barton the Bard.
Where can I find...
I already told you.
Could you be a bit...
I don't know that bloke, so if I was you...
What do you know about that?
What about him? He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the Miners' Tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here.
You think he might have been...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while and only came back not long ago. I know he met with some odd people and talked about God knows what. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they...
Or in this case... Apart from those men, did anyone... I mean...
Well, I got bad news for you. She had 2 close friends, but you won't get much out of either of them.
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared. And she died. And the other one got married and moved away.
How did Stanya...
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained. And there was...
Blood?
Not so much, really. More like hand or footprints. But they were near everywhere. If someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
That's all I need to know.
Terrible! What's that I hear?
What?
This is unbelievable!
What are you guys looking at? Are they looking through the fucking wall out here?
Hey! Did something happen? Wake
Yo,
up. Come on! Fucker! Next time, I'll be ready for you.
what the fuck is happening?
Good day.
Good day.
Wait, was there a little bar fight and they threw him, clipped through the fucking wall into the... Hey, is that just what... Oh my god. Alright.
One beer, please!
hard way. Hey! Innkeeper, that's here.
I want to see some nice eggs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you have to be fucking kidding. Why is it always fucking like this? It's a fucking maze for no fucking reason. Jesus
bless you.
fuck, dude.
Greetings.
It's William, right? I need to talk to you.
What is it? Do we know each other? Do I owe you money?
My name's Henry. And no, we don't know each other, and you don't owe me money. But we have a lot of mutual friends.
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
Well, you don't have to, that's true. But you should. It's in your own best interest.
What are you talking about?
If you don't start giving me some answers right now, I reckon you'll end up begging in the streets. Because I'll break all your fingers, and you'll never play the lute again, you miserable minstrel.
What? No! Come on, I didn't do anything!
Stop whining and talk, or I'll be the one doing something to you.
Come on. All right, then. Ask away.
Did you know Alice?
I know a lot of Alice.
The one they found dead somewhere.
Oh, her.
I heard she used to...
Yeah, and? I'm not the only musician in the city.
They say she had a rich young suitor.
Me? Do I look rich to you? I get paid in food.
But you could at least pass yourself off as wealthy.
Or I could claim to be the Virgin Mary, but...
And did you ever meet Yarka? It was a long time ago, but I heard...
Oh, that one. Aye, she was very keen on my company for a while, but then she stopped coming.
Because somebody killed her.
I know what happened was a tragedy, but it wasn't my fault. She stopped talking to me long before that.
And did you know she was pregnant?
What? Yarka was... That's horrible.
That's what I'd like to find out. What about the unwilling father-to-be? He wouldn't have...
What? Mine? I never even got under her skirt. We just flirted a bit, and then she stopped coming by.
And can you tell me anything?
I don't know anything. It was a long time ago. You said so yourself.
And I hear you knew...
Which one do you mean?
The alehouse wench from the hole.
Well, she batted her eyes at me a couple of times when I was still playing there. A nice girl, but I didn't know her much.
Well, the innkeeper Mole told me a different story. He said you were the one coming on to her.
Fine, we had a bit of fun together. But she was always the one who started it.
And aren't you just saying that because she left you?
Oh, come on! I could have any... The innkeeper must have got it mixed up. He's an old drunkard after all. If I was you, I wouldn't take him too seriously.
And what about Zdena? You knew her, right?
Do I know Zdena? As wild as the wind and always full of life. And those nimble fingers. You always had to check your purse around her.
Did she steal something from you?
A traveling minstrel doesn't have much to steal, but she was well aware of that. She was on the lookout for some better prey.
You don't happen to know who she...
There were lots. Anyone she thought was rich enough who let her ply her charms for like young von Groller. When he started coming here, she got to him right away. Said she was gonna rob... As far as I know, she didn't succeed. If she robbed a noble like von Groller, word would get around. Look, why are you asking me about all this? You don't seriously think I killed her, do you?
Well, you did know them all.
And? I'm surely not the only one.
That may be true. But everybody knows you're a skirt chaser, and they were all pretty girls. And now, they're dead.
But I had nothing to do with it.
Confess, or this won't end well for you.
What do you mean, won't end well?
If you come clean and get lucky, they'll hang you. If not, you'll get the rack. So, did you do it?
No, I didn't!
Good. I believe you. But if any clue leads me back here to you, I won't give you a second chance.
You won't hear about me again, I swear to God.
Yeah, always got to give him that last little. And it's like, okay, I'm not in the tutorial anymore, so you don't have to fucking tell me every fucking time that I choose to use some button that I want to use. You know? You told me in the tutorial what's what. I'm choosing to make whatever decision I want, so quit fucking telling me.
I don't have time.
Don't
for
fucking
that.
do this.
Ask the foreman.
I'll do
We'll
it if I
find him
goddamn
around here
please.
somewhere.
And then you have to like hold another button to get it to fucking go away. It's so annoying. But it does it every fucking time.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'm looking for someone named Stanya.
You're in a charcoal camp, fella.
But you know Stanya.
Aye,
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town.
that's true. She told me something like that. But that was a long...
So you don't know what became of her?
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know...
Lumir himself, the Kuttenberg bailiff's former scribe, gave me the task. He was looking...
Well, I remember Lumir. He was all right.
But what? What are you still brooding over?
You seem like the right man for a job like that. Sorry, but after all that happened to Stanya, I like to be careful.
So Stanya is here?
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's afraid to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage, but be nice to her. She's in a... Till we meet again.
Are you ready to die?
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here to finish what you started, I'm not afraid of you. I'll claw your eyes out.
Don't be afraid. Barton told me where to find you.
Barton sent you to me. What do you want from me?
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what happened to you.
Lumir? From the rat house. He sent you.
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg. Lumir thought it might be connected with you, so maybe you could help us find out who did it.
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
You disappeared from the hole in the wall without saying goodbye.
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the bath. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid. I decided...
Did you see who it was?
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly
survivor.
blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and I ran away.
Here? To the charcoal burners?
No, first to my room in the hole. I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran. Here, to
That makes
Barton.
sense.
And your lover? What did he say?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher and was all bloody. He's been hiding me here since then.
What was it like?
Well,
How so?
every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich or poor, everyone... People... Well, us girls have to watch out. We can't just put up with it, especially in a place like... But you can't overdo it either.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, then sometimes they leave a groschen, or even two. You have to keep a balance. To look friendly, but unavailable.
You walked home...
What's so odd about that?
Well,
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale and took a bath while they drank it.
aha. So
Right. I went there regularly.
the same way every time?
Aye, always the same way. The shortest one. I didn't want to stay out too long at night.
And who knew that you went by yourself to the baths?
Well, everyone from the tavern, I
How are you now?
I can't even really...
You said that rich or poor, they all like to...
Truth be told, the hole isn't exactly a good place for a rich man, but young von Groll used to go there for a while.
Is that so?
That's what I've heard.
Did he talk to you?
He
It's a name
smiled
I
at me a
heard
lot,
recently
so I
with one of the
smiled
other
back.
guys talking about.
Beyond a few groschen, there was nothing more to it. Then this thieving wench started hanging around him and... Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
But that servant of his didn't like it, tried to drive her away, and so the young lord stopped bringing him with him.
Von Groller had a servant with him.
Aye, a pudgy fella, well dressed, but had a mean face. He never said a word or smiled, or even said thank you.
Why didn't you go back?
Just to get murdered there. I'm never going back there. Not until...
Do you remember anything important about the attacker?
I don't know anything. It was at night. He grabbed me.
And what about when you hit him? What did he do?
He let me go. And
Aha. And what did he...
he said Scheisse.
Seems you're the only one to survive. I know it isn't easy for you to think about it. Or when you were running away. Anything can help us.
I don't know. It's all like in a fog.
You were walking down the street. Did you notice anything before he attacked you?
No, nothing.
You didn't see anything or hear anything?
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking, but when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices. Two of them waiting for me there.
It's difficult, I understand. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what else do you remember?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else? Did he grab your hair?
Well, no. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed. Just for a moment. But I still had a big bruise round my neck for weeks. Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip. Like a miner or swordsman.
A miner.
I reckon that...
I'm sorry I'm not able to...
You don't need to apologize.
Thank you. Could I ask...
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard...
I'll stop by if...
God bless you, sir.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
Are you Pine?
I am. Why?
I'm looking for Zdena.
I don't know any Stenner.
Sternad said something different.
You're a friend of Sternard's, are you?
Actually, I don't really know him that well. He's the only one I know who knew Zdena. And he sent me to you.
Well, if he told you that, I reckon it's all right. He's not much of a traitorous rat, I reckon.
I wouldn't entirely count on that. So you knew Zdena? Can you tell...
I know Stenner all right, but she ain't been here in some time. Why are you looking for her?
I'm looking for a... Back in the city, they think she's either dead or run off somewhere. And you're the...
What of her?
What can you tell me about...
She always had it hard.
And what about Sternad?
Sternard was her guardian angel. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore. But by sharing with him, she could do what she wanted.
Uh-huh.
That's because she had a hideout somewhere nearby. That's why she'd come to me with her loot, before they taxed her on the spot. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'll be able to go wherever she wanted.
I heard she wanted to sell you some value.
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly jewelry, rings, one signet ring with a coat of arms and everything.
She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her. Otherwise, she couldn't have carried it all.
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it.
Do you know what kind of luck she meant?
No. I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Zdenna was giggling to herself. I reckon she had her eye on another mark.
Where did she go next from here?
That she did. She also had a feeling someone was following.
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg.
She didn't.
And did you see him?
No. But she even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like she was still here.
And then where'd she go?
She wanted to go the back way, through the woods, so nobody could follow her. Past the woods is a road and a ford across a stream. Next to it is a huge boulder. When it rains, the water can rise fast. The road goes on to Kuttenberg.
Well, if it leads back to the road and there was really someone following her, I reckon if they saw she was long in returning, they could have waited for her at the ford, no?
Fuck! That's quite possible. I made a point of looking, but I didn't...
And could it have been Father...
What do I know? If he has a horse and fancy clothes...
I heard he wanted to find her an honest job.
I don't know.
And could it have been William?
And who would that be?
He's this bard she was seeing.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'll go and check out that ford.
I hope you don't. Take care.
Bro, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be actually fucking kidding me. Oh my god.
That has to be that ford Pint was talking about. I should take a look around here.
I can't inspect the fucking bet.
This must be that basket of silver Zdenna was carrying with her. She wouldn't have just left that here. But where did it come from? Maybe it rolled down the hill?
Oh no.
Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh, she's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or dashed her hard against the ground. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience. Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something. Oh, I can't make much out by now. But it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he trying to get something out of her hand? Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole. But how did it get inside her? Did she swallow it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there? Was she trying to hide it? Well, that's enough. But what is it all? I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to improvise. And that's about all I can find out. But that ring is a good lead.
Wait, it gave me the option to flip her over. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no concrete leads, but a decent bit more evidence, I guess.
You shouldn't be out here alone like this. Awful things have been happening here.
Okay. Creepy lady.
Greetings.
I found out some interesting things about those murders. Just like you said.
That's wonderful news. But wait a while. I promised Catherine we'd wait for her.
You know Catherine?
She came to see me soon after you did, and started asking me questions. Just like you.
Will you send for her? So, we're all here.
I hope nobody else shows up. How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Well? Who do you suspect now?
Well, I'd say William did it. The minstrel.
You can't be serious. He's innocent.
Yeah, he seemed pretty dumb. And he
Who do you
certainly
think it
wasn't
was?
strong.
Fuck up. I'm sure of it.
No.
Yeah.
Really? That's impossible. It couldn't have been him.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative?
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he knows the story of Cain and Abel.
Prokop also admitted that he didn't know how to handle her, and perhaps he was too strict.
What do you expect from a Bible thumper? Man punishes and God forgives. It never occurs to them that if man didn't punish, God wouldn't have to forgive.
Well, maybe I wouldn't hold it against him. He really tried to make sure she was well taken care of. He wanted to find her a husband, too.
And did you learn who he found?
No. I think it fell apart when Yarka started rebelling. Yarka started working for the von Groller family.
Now that
she remained until her
name.
death.
I was there to ask whether she'd
I
given
think
them
that's
any
the
trouble,
insignia.
but they said she was
It's going to
always
be
thorough
the
and reliable.
Von
So
Groll
what's the story with Von Groll?
family
A
shield.
very wealthy and important family. The mother is
It'll be
quite
like
devout,
the son, the
known to spend a
Von
lot of
Groll
time in
son or
prayer.
something.
Old Von Groller's been sick for years. Can't even get
Yeah.
out of bed.
So, who runs affairs?
That would be young Hendel.
Now
They
look
say
at
he's
that.
quite successful.
What did I say? The young son. Yeah.
Before her death, I heard she often went to dances.
Interesting.
There's nothing wrong or surprising about that. But maybe she found someone there.
Maybe. Prokop was convinced that she went to see William. That was actually the only name he mentioned.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means she had some relationship with William, or at least knew him.
And now, most importantly, Yarka was pregnant when they killed her.
I didn't know that. Do you know for sure? So they gutted her.
To make it impossible to tell she was pregnant? I wouldn't be surprised.
May God forgive us.
Do you know who she was pregnant with? Because if we know who the father is, we'll likely know who the killer is.
She didn't tell Prokop.
It had to be someone from those dances. Maybe William.
Prokop is convinced that she was murdered by that bard, William.
And I agree with him. I heard the daughters of important men come to see him. It even went so far he had to flee the city. And the moment he's back, there's another murder.
Really? But I found out you accused Prokop first, Lumir.
What? Why?
It doesn't matter. It was a mistake, and I paid for it.
And were you as sure then as you are now about William?
I don't think so. But he's a skirt chaser. If he got Yarka pregnant...
Perhaps. But why would he kill and mutilate her? He could have just run away.
But then he could never come back.
Why not? He could come back a year later, once things have died down, the child would be born, the shame forgotten, and nobody would bring it up.
I suppose that makes sense.
I
That's all
disagree
able
with
to
that,
find out.
but
You still found out more than I did.
I mean,
But it's
not
not
1 year,
enough.
maybe 5
We
years,
still
sure.
don't know who the killer is.
But we can agree that she was killed because of her pregnancy, can't we?
Agreed. Somebody got rid of her to make sure nobody found out she was pregnant.
I'm sure William wanted...
William isn't the only man with a prick. And he certainly didn't use it to strangle her to death.
Such language. What are you trying to say?
That making babies and murdering folks require different tools.
But who would it be if not the father?
Someone who stood to lose something because of the child. Money, reputation, honor.
Yeah.
Freedom?
Banging a peasant.
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive? You found her alive?
I did. Alive and well.
Von Groll's
Hiding with the
son.
charcoal burners.
So, she's not one of our victims?
She is. She just managed to escape
Having
the killer.
an illegitimate
She said she was
heir
attacked
to-
on her way home from the baths.
Whatever
She
their
heard somebody
estate is
talking
or
in a
whatever.
side street, but it was empty. But when she walked by, someone grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her.
And how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the killer in the face with it. He either got startled or hurt, but he let her go.
Did she get a look at him? Did she take his eye out or something?
No, she didn't stop to find out. Just ran. Which is probably why she survived.
And what about the blood in the bedroom?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still so scared that she grabbed her things and ran off to her beloved charcoal burner. She said she returned from the baths in the evening regularly, And somebody knew exactly which way she would take and where to wait for her.
You mean someone followed her beforehand to figure out where to ambush her?
Who knew that she went to the bars?
Apparently, everyone in the tavern. She didn't... Well, according to Stanya, the murderer had a terribly strong grip. Her neck was bruised for almost a month.
Doesn't almost every man have a strong grip?
Depending on what they take in hand every day. A tankard, a quill, or a hammer.
Except none of our suspects are miners or blacksmiths, eh? She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. He may be a pig, but the evening she ran home, he was in bed snoring. According to Stanya, the murderer didn't say a word the entire time.
That's strange, right? I'd expect him to at least call her a whore.
The only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face with the pitcher. He said Scheisse.
So, we're looking for a German?
Even I say Scheiße sometimes.
Yeah, like
I'm
Von
not
Grohl,
German.
maybe?
Besides that, she also recalled hearing two voices in the alley. Someone was talking to the killer.
So we have a witness. Now, just to find him.
Or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen the whole thing, right? And he didn't go to report it.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her and tried to get to know her better, but nothing came of it.
And that's probably why I wanted to kill her. And likely rape her before that.
Well, perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and no matter what they say about him, in her eyes he's a good lad. And that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad that girl is alive.
Me too. At least someone's had a little luck. Does she want to come back, or was she...
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now they'll come back for her, she doesn't even leave the house. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately,
And where did you find her?
pretty far away. Near them, someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin. I reckon she put up a hell of a fight. So the killer got nervous and ended...
So he didn't strangle or mutilate.
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. She had so much jewelry on her, she could hardly carry it. And what's odd
Like the Von
is when she
Grolls,
was
maybe?
murdered, the killer left her basket of valuables behind.
So I reckon he didn't kill her for the money.
Yeah, because he's rich, you don't need no money.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena and nearly cursed her on the spot.
What did he have in common with a thief?
He had also looked after her, but unlike Yarka, she ended up on the street. Zdena tried to rob young Von Grolle. It's possible she succeeded.
Von Grolle? Yarka worked for them, didn't she?
Ah, that whole family is suspicious.
Assumptions.
There we go.
Nothing more.
I'd say it's pretty obvious. Why else would I have found that ring on her?
They just left the ring by her body? That's odd, isn't it?
It wasn't by her body. It was inside of it. I don't know if she swallowed it herself or someone shoved it in her.
Ah, that's awful. But I can't...
My mouth is starting to hurt.
So are my ears and head.
Come now, we're nearly there. We just need to find our suspect.
I suspect one of the Von
Yes.
Grollers.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor, and young Von Grolle fits both descriptions.
True, true.
Yarka was pregnant, and if the father was young Von Grolle, it would make sense if he got rid of her.
Sakura, you're right.
But William could have fucked her too.
Zdena robbed Von Grolle.
That's true.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
Yarka was their maidservant until she started rebelling, right?
Yes. Do you think she was rebelling because of someone in particular?
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
Rebelling.
And that's all I
Rebelling.
can pin on him.
So, do we agree that it was young Von Groll?
Well, old Von Groller can't do much now, can he?
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect is young Von Groller?
Aye. I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything. But what are we gonna do?
They'll just laugh at us without something more tangible.
So, you want to search their house?
There's nothing else we can
Yes.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture is enough.
do. You could sneak in there.
Or break in?
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones, or a swordsman, or break in? That's a lot of options.
You're a clever lad. You'll figure it out.
A sawsbone? Oh my god. What a terrifying way of saying doctor. Oh, we can't talk anymore. Okay.